I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lady Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 1 Degree of Chunky B. You're in the Garage of Love, chunkyb.tv. Last week, we had a production meeting, and executive producer of Love, Gary Adler, said, maybe I'm a little too over the top with my introductions, so I'm coming at you real. I'm coming at you straight at you, and you know I dig you. But before we go introduce what I just tapped in, and I'll explain it in a minute, but right off the bat, say hello to Gary Adler, the executive producer of 1 Degree of Chunky B.
Thanks, Chunk. Wow, man, I thought that was really real.
I felt real.
I felt like it was a moving, real introduction this time. So thank you. By the way,
Yep.
we're all drinking the Venice Duck. So let's put that up. And listen, you can't get out of the Garage of Love without a little VD. You know what I'm saying?
Venice Duck.
Yeah. So that's good.
If you're in the mood to get your quack on, get your quack on.
That's right. And we, well, I don't want to tease it too much, but you know.
I got it. Don't even go there. I got this. Say hello to who is the Wizard spot right now. The Wizard is in Vegas. Say hello to Penny Lane, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. She's filling in for the Wiz.
She's gathering information as we speak. She's awesome, and she's our digital ninja.
Yeah.
Give me your undivided attention, because we're about to introduce to you a guy that I've met a couple times, and I'm going to explain it to you. I'll cut right to the chase. He's Alan Salkin. Everybody, please give it up. And
Wait, there's not two of them, by the way.
no,
You
I
want to
know,
explain
I know,
that a little bit?
I know. I'm about to bring.
He's
this
a
up.
conjoined twin, people.
You got me,
I got, no, hang on one second. And go.
folks. I'm going to apologize to Alan in a second because of this. But say hello to his brother, who is part of Venice Duck. Give it up for Doug Salkin.
That's right. One of the owners of Venice Duck Brew, our favorite sponsor.
Yeah. Alan, I've seen you speak publicly twice. I went to your book opening. I got caught stealing your book because it was a table full of books.
I'm glad they caught you.
Right. And I paid my $40. And by the way,
It's not $40.
all right, whatever it was, it felt like 40. At the time, I was broke.
The paperback is out now, and it's only $12 on Amazon.
I charged him for it.
Yeah.
Bargain basement.
Okay, check this out. You remember when you texted him in our text production meeting?
Yeah.
Said, bring us a signed book.
That's right.
I just want to let you know, and Alan, I bet you don't even remember this. Okay? Check this out.
Done.
We're not even making this up, folks. Check out the date. 10/1/13. You see
Nice.
it?
That was the day the book came out.
That's right. And we
I
have
was
it
there.
here.
Although it says 10/7/13.
Was it 7?
So
okay,
close.
you know something? You
So
need better.
close.
You write like a doctor. We just talked about, I've seen him speak twice.
What's the book about? Can we get to that?
No, we're not getting there yet. I want to tell you something, and I'm speaking from the heart right now. That book opening, I loved. You had all those, the chefs, the women, that thing.
The
and
Too Hot Tamales, Susan
At the
Feniger,
Border
Mary
Grill.
Sue
Right.
Milliken.
But what made me a fan of yours was when I sat and heard you do your father's eulogy. It was spiritual, mind-boggling, sensitive, caring, and well said.
Well, I'm very grateful you were there at the funeral. It was very nice of you to come.
And I gave your brother a tennis ball.
He's already tearing up. Look at him go.
I'm a sensitive guy. I had the privilege of meeting your dad, and I thought he was a super cool cat. I know tennis was his game. He came to a couple school functions, and I know I'm talking off script, even though we'd never have a script. I enjoy your dad's company, and I enjoyed what you did at Temple. And you're a good man. Let's talk more about
Oh, wait,
you.
he brought this tennis ball. I showed you. It said game, set, and match, which is the same thing the rabbi said. He claims it's a coincidence. I don't believe it.
I promise you with all my heart. I wrote that here and brought it. Really? What am I going to do?
Very nice. It was
lie at your dad's thing?
It was very nice. Either way.
And here's my apology to you. I'm not going to be one of those cats that said I loved your book. I jumped into this book late in the game because we had a schedule change, and I want to let you know. First 23 pages. I do not read 23 fucking pages in a row for anybody. And I can, if you want to quiz me on the first 23, you can. And I just read it recently.
Well, I think, because the book is about television, it probably particularly interested you because it's about the TV industry.
Yes. And it's about that cat that started it, Joe. I'm bad with names and stuff like that. And how they were fearless. And they were going into areas that they didn't even know.
I'm calling time out.
He
Okay.
wants to know what the book is about.
You all need to back up a hair for our audience. They have not read the book.
You're right.
What the fuck is the book about, Chunky B?
No, don't ask me. Ask
Okay,
Alan.
let's go. Alan
My bad.
Salkin.
I'm sorry.
The book is called From Scratch, The Uncensored History of the Food Network, although Chunky's holding up the hardcover, which is called From Scratch, Inside the Food Network. Anyway, what it is a history of what's a cable television. I don't know. I know you don't know what this is. It's a cable television channel called the Food Network, where they started off having a lot of cooking shows.
Smartass.
And they have now a lot of competition shows. Iron Chef, Emeril Legasse, Rachel Ray, Giada De Laurentiis, Mario Battaglia, all these people.
The Great Food Truck Race.
Exactly.
We had the Lone Star Chuck Wagon sitting
I
right
heard
there.
that. That's right. Tyler
right.
Florence hosts that show. And so it's a sort of unauthorized, but with some cooperation from the Food Network and from the Food Network stars and the behind-the-scenes people. The whole story, the business story of how it started, the cultural story of how America became obsessed with food thanks to the Food Network over the last 20 years, and plenty of behind-the-scenes tales about your favorite and unfavorite stars.
Okay.
Wow.
That being said, by a man that is got command of the English language.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand what. I'm like, okay.
What
boom.
Doug's doing here?
No, I know. It's his brother, and he's the one who booked Alan, and we got to put up with Doug because Alan's here, and we're all excited about Alan.
Plus, Doug's made some cameos on the show.
No doubt.
Doug's a more major force in the entertainment industry than I am.
And
so.
all of you combined.
That's kind of a big deal.
My question to you, and I'm going to be really vague. Why?
Why write the book?
Yeah.
Well, I just like to tell stories. And I have as a journalist, which is what I've been, I've written for the New York Times and was on staff, and I've written for lots of magazines. I have a no Kennedys, no World War II, no Mafia policy. I don't write about these areas that have been covered and covered and covered. My first book was about Festivus, which, there was a sitcom called Seinfeld in the 90s. It was very
Right.
popular.
He's coming at you.
Yeah,
Look at him, he's coming
I
at
actually
you.
had Festivus in college.
There you go.
Had to go to a free clinic for that.
Well, my point is, exactly.
Penicillin?
No, it burns when they put the acid on it. But and that was really a book about how people were celebrating this holiday they learned about from Seinfeld, and so it was sort of an interesting little sociology book, which was funny and had stuff about the Festivus poll. And I don't need to read the Warren Commission report and be the 10,000th person to conclude that there may or may not have been a conspiracy in the JFK assassination. Although I do think it's unlikely that one bullet did all the damage that they're saying it did. And so I was. Long story short, I covered the South Beach Food and Wine Festival, which is basically like the Sundance Festival of the food media business in Florida one year. And I went down there, and I was just amazed to see that people like Emeril Legasse and Rachel Ray and Giada De Laurentiis all had bodyguards and entourages and talent agents. And this was the year Emeril had sold his businesses to Martha Stewart for $50 million. And it was just this, I had no idea this had happened, that chefs... When we were kids, if we had told our mother that we were going to become chefs, I mean, let alone tell her we were going to go in the entertainment industry and suffer for so long. But, if we told her we were going to be chefs, she would have rather we come home on a Harley Davidson when I was 14.
Right, with a new tattoo.
It would have been a bad...
You think that's true? I mean, we always cooked.
We cooked, yes. And I want to tell that for sure. Go ahead.
I wasn't going to tell a story. I'm just saying that I think they were particularly into food. Speaking of my dad... Mm-hmm. He was, as Alan said, he was an original foodie. And actually it only occurred to me when Alan mentioned it in that eulogy that the reason I was so into food, and we would travel for hours for this tiny Chinese place in Northridge. I mean, it just made no sense in those days, and now it's what everyone does.
Okay, Doug, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to verify what you're talking about.
Sure.
This guy, Doug, will sleep with a wireless thermometer and do a like a shoulder or whatever.
Brisket, whole brisket.
Yeah, all night long, and check the temperatures that he's smoking or
Does he
slow.
check it normal style?
No, it's a wreck of fucking meat. Why do you have to go to the gutter?
Like,
We've got
this
some
is a
Same joke he's
thermometer.
been
What?
telling us for 30
Yeah.
years.
No, it tingles his anus when the pork
I don't see
when
what
the
problem
pork
is.
reaches the right temperature. It tingles his
Alan,
anus.
are you trying to tell me
Pops
I
out.
put a fucking tie on for this?
When I'm in the pocket, when you're in the pocket, man, when the temperature's right, there's nothing better, man.
Right. Okay. Emeril. Okay. I don't want to sit there and like, let's break the book down.
Did you just call him Emeril?
He did.
Emeril.
He
No.
wants to
Damn.
bring up the topic.
Oh,
of
okay,
that.
here we go.
That's his way of doing it.
Speaking of
That was a
Emeril,
good
no.
transition.
I just want to let you know the reason this book grabbed me because it bust out with Emeril's sacrifice that he gave in his heart and his soul, but he wasn't growing because the audience was getting younger, and he wasn't going to budge. He wasn't going to get like, hey, what do the kids want? He's like, no, I am a chef, and this is how I run the thing. Talk about that.
Well, in 2007, I start the book off with Emeril getting canceled in 2007. At this time, the network was on this incredible winning streak. Guy Fieri won Food Network Star in 2006, and they were just like, oh, we're creating new stars left and right. After 9/11, which was a terrible event, but the best thing that happened to Food Network, because people wanted this kind of simple, homespun, warm style programming, they just had this litany of stars that came from nowhere. Nobody ever heard of Rachel Ray until her show debuted in November 2001. And then you get Giada, Sandra Lee, the Barefoot Contessa, Paula Deen, which I'm sure we're going to get into, or maybe we won't. If we're
It's up
lucky.
to you.
But, and so the network was on this incredible winning streak. The numbers for Emeril Live, which was, Emeril, if you remember back in 97, when his show debuted, if you watch those tapes, when Emeril would throw garlic on something and go bam,
Yep.
people screamed with glee.
Yes.
It was like this man was reminding America that they had taste buds. After World War II, people talk about chefs are the new rock stars. After World War II, it took, the blues were there, but it took the changes of technology, of the electric guitar, the transistor radio, television, for people to see Elvis, for his hips to move, and America was reminded they had hips after World War II. This was what Emeril did. He reminded us that we had taste buds. And all of a sudden, it's like he's telling this gospel of you can put garlic on something. And so anyway, back when they canceled him, it seemed like they were on this incredible winning streak that was never going to end, and it's not true.
Hey, Alan, let's just step back for a second. Let's just bust down the format of that show. That was like Jay Leno that could cook. There was a band.
Yes.
He played the drums. Bam. Let's up a notch. What was it? Let's bring it up a notch.
Yeah, take it up a notch.
Yeah.
So let's take it up a notch.
Fucking watch
He
that
was.
Kick it. Kick it.
Is it kick it up a notch?
Yeah,
Whatever the
something
fucking
like
thing
that.
was. He was notching something.
He was bamming.
But in and out of commercial breaks, the band is grooving. Such a strong New Orleans vibe. Even if the cat was out of Boston, right?
He was from Fall River, Massachusetts, which just west of Boston, and he was actually he could have gotten a scholarship to college to play drums, music college, and he decided to go to cooking school instead. So yes, it was his first show on the Food Network in '93 when the network started was called How to Boil Water.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And it was literally put water in stove, turn on. Gary, do you need this recipe?
I'm good. I just want you to know I will be cooking my turkey on the grill this year.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice,
and
nice.
I have much research with Gary House.
So-
He's my man.
Anyway, so it took him a while. He was on a lot of bad water pen. He was on a lot of bad shows, and it took him a while to evolve to that great style. And this was actually Joe Langan, the guy that founded the network, who didn't really know much about food, had this idea. People were going, and the first show, people went so nuts at the pilot, they said, we got gold here. And this is the first show that people started watching Food Network. And for years, people thought the Food Network was at the Emeril Network. It was the only thing that seemed to be on when you tuned in.
Right. And that just kept growing and growing. As it was growing, like I mentioned a second ago, he wasn't. And that's why that woman had to look him in the eye and say, listen, we're going. But wasn't he making enough money? Even at first, the contract was $333,000 a year. which back then
Yes.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Emeril was sticking to his his scruples, I guess, whatever you want to call it, and things were growing. And the people started test marketing and all that shit, and Emeril wasn't part of the equation. But was that before or after he sold everything to Martha Stewart?
It was almost exactly the same time. He made the deal to sell his shows to Martha Stewart because he probably saw the writing on the wall. But to some extent, Emeril was in a bubble. He had he was successful for a decade. He'd go to every town and he was a star. He was making tons of money. He had restaurants opening all the time.
Yep.
Women bearing their breasts to him wherever he went. Literally, there's that. in the
Yeah,
book.
same here. I flashed him.
Yes. No comment on your breast size, but enjoy that beer. So,
You can tell he's a foodie, though, right?
Yeah.
so yeah, and so I would argue it wasn't really Emeril's job. He had this agent, Jim Griffin, who just thought he knew everything, and Emeril they'd never cancel Emeril, and Emeril thought the same thing. I would argue that they should have just shifted Emeril to. It wasn't his job to think of a new idea.
Right.
Although Bobby Flay, who's a big character in the book,
Came
always
in with
seems
his own ideas.
He always, and that is obviously the key to things. You know,
Throw
he tried-
down, and those are all his ideas?
Yes, come up with new stuff. Right. I mean, usually it's a grilling show. That's always Bobby's brilliant idea. Let's do another grilling show, but coming up with a new format, new ideas, that's a secret to survival. You know, in this town, in any town, you can't wait for a call. You got to be proactive. But I would argue that Emeril at 11 now, sort of competing with Chelsea Handler, I'd watch that show.
What? Would you just go with that, Chelsea? How'd you throw her?
No,
in?
what he's saying is
why
they
not-
should have moved his time slot, kept him on the channel,
Okay.
but moved his time slot.
To that.
Yeah,
and
which
make
is
it a little
Okay,
crazier
you
and
threw me
racier
off.
show. Yeah.
You threw me off because
have some guests, right? The whole thing.
Yeah.
But no. The reason why you threw me off because I didn't think he wanted to change. He wouldn't even do Iron Chef.
That's true. But that was really his agent. It was. Yes. At the end, they were trying to get him to
Jim, what's his name?
Jim Griffin. But you're right. It's true. You're changing my mind in a way. It's true. It would have been very difficult. He was on such a winning streak. But then again, after 6 months off the air, when he was really getting a taste of what it was like, he should have brought him back. They should still bring him back.
No doubt.
Is he not on the air at all on Food
He's
Network?
got some crappy show on Cooking Channel, the sort of
right.
ESPN2, where he travels around Florida, and it looks like it's financed by the Florida Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Okay, Alan, you're in a pitch meeting. You're in a pitch meeting right now. You got Emeril. Tell us the show.
Back. I can't stop doing that.
Am I banging stuff?
Yeah.
Come on, it's fucking Alan.
I get it, but
All right, check
take
it out.
easy.
Go ahead. Right now, right off the bat.
Penny, what's your favorite Food Network show?
My favorite Food Network show? The one where they say "bam."
Oh, shut up, kiss ass.
She's
They don't even
millennial.
say that, man.
She's millennial adjacent. You have to forgive her. She probably doesn't watch the Food Network.
Exennial. I'm not.
Yeah, she's online. She's
All right.
not
I
on
watch
TV.
stuff on
Yeah.
Hulu.
Who's the biggest star? Who's the biggest star right now?
Guy Fieri's the biggest star on the network.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, Road Diners, Drive-ins.
Yeah, the guy
How
with the
many
spiky
I
episodes?
hair.
disagree.
Lives?
I
Yeah.
disagree.
Bullshit.
Oh shit.
He's the
You're
man.
right. Wait, so hold on. I went over to the Travel Channel. You're right.
Dude, they can literally marathon that show every night. and
Dude,
we'll
Man
get
vs.
amazing
Food.
ratings.
That's
Okay,
Food Network.
Travel
right?
Channel.
Check this
Oh,
out.
shit. Just
Here's a little something
kidding.
about Guy. Guy was into the game at an early age.
Yeah.
This cat used to make his own pretzels and he modified his bicycle to keep the pretzels warm and went around town and sold pretzels.
Are
at
you
the
getting
age...
this out of the book, or are you pulling this out of your head?
No, this is not in the book. Is
Are
it in the
you
book?
impressed, Alan?
It's in the book.
It
Oh,
is.
it's like-
I'm really.
I didn't even.
The
fact that you
warming
read it
part
all.
isn't in the book, but yeah, the pretzel cart's in the book. He paid for his junior year abroad in high school, running a pretzel cart in his hometown, Northern California. But am I pitching you a show, or what am I telling you?
Yeah. What if you
No,
had
no, we're
Emeril
talking
in your back pocket, and
Yeah.
you were coming to the Food Network? What show would you pitch with Emeril?
I don't mean to put you on the
I
spot.
would pitch a sort of crazy, intense half hour where Emeril cooks with bizarre celebrity guests, and there's like a hot female entertainment reporter who's coming up with interesting little tidbits about food news.
You're such a dick.
Why?
I know what you're doing. What are you doing?
This is what we're doing.
He's
I don't know
crisscrossing.
what's happening.
I know what he's doing.
I don't
Okay?
think he's doing it on purpose.
Yes, he is.
Well, but Chunky, you came up with the perfect format here. But you're a late night guy. You made a late night show here.
See, I told you he was likable.
Hey, I want
told
to
you-
What about
tease
it-
the biggest scandal in the book before we take a break.
What's the biggest scandal in the book?
Yeah, like I want to know.
What
you
is
know,
that?
give
Wait,
us-
before I just want to make sure that we get to the the Pantry Pride oregano story. After the break, we can. But
You want to tease the Pantry Pride oregano story?
Yes.
And here's another thing I want to tease: hot tamales. Which one was the lesbian?
What about two fat ladies?
That's not cooking.
Love those chicks.
They were.
yeah.
They were awesome.
What's most interesting to me about the Food Network, and when he was talking about as he was writing the book, I kept asking him, what happened to this guy? There was this guy, David Rosengarten. There were all these people that did hours upon hours. They had nobody, and they would just sit there and do one show after the next. The Bobby Flay, that original show. What was that? That story is fascinating.
Yeah.
Grilling and chilling.
Tell them the story.
They shot 42 shows in 7 days in the backlot of HSN.
Holy shit.
It cost $1,500 an episode, and they've been still running it 20 years later.
But
you
did
guys
they pay them like $25
Yeah, they
or
got.
something?
I think they got $250 each an episode.
All right, dude.
That's more than you guys are getting right now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I want to let you know. Okay, the more I don't want to talk about the onion layers of Alan Salkin, but I tell you what, we are blessed and honored to have you in the Garage of Love.
Hold on. I'm sorry, but before you sounds like you're headed to
have
the
to
break.
take a
I
break.
want to know what scandal is the biggest scandal in the book that Gary's teasing.
No, that's what
you're about to tell us.
you're going to tell us after the break, and then we're going to talk about the lesbian hot tamale,
we'll do.
and then we're going to talk more about
oregano.
what your brother that's still grabbing your coattails for popularity,
Right.
and piggybacking off of anything again. This is his third appearance. He was actually our very first show.
He was our first test guest.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he
I need
made
to
it.
watch that show.
You guys,
was
I
cutting
know
room
we're
floor.
all over the place, but there's one thing that you need to know. I swear to goodness, please give this a shot. I picked it up, and I know I'm behind schedule. I should have been reading this fucking when I got it, when I still tried to steal it.
Is it on tape? Because I'm really impressed that you read, Chunk. I mean,
I read 23
lot of
pages.
effort.
It took me 2 weeks. All right, you're in the one degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love, ChunkyB.tv. You got Penny over there. You got Adler over there.
Yeah, we got Penny Lane's Digital Ninja segment
coming up right next.
up. Yeah, really,
Right on.
really excited.
And then you got Doug Salkin, who's definitely a part of what we're a part of, Venice Duck, and Alan Salkin, who actually flew in for this interview. It cost us like, oh Jesus, you wouldn't even believe it. We're gonna be right back with more Alan and more cooking stuff. And if you go away, you're a dick. I'll track you down and punch you right in the eye. You guys have got to check out our brand new sponsor, Venice Duck Brewery. You want to get your quack on? Taste some of this. Hey, you guys, music provided by Play Up Music. That's playupmusic.com. What are we doing? We're cruising. Where are we cruising? Down Penny Lane. Guess what? Intermission, 1 degree of Chunky B on ChunkyB.tv. Adler, do you mind if we just start talking?
Yeah,
right away?
cut to her, man.
Penny Lane, say hello.
hi.
There she is.
The Garage of Love is in full effect, as usual.
I want to say thank you and congratulations. Since you've been on board, tell the folks what's shaking.
Our numbers have doubled since the new Digital Ninja has taken over. So we're just kind of winning at life right now is what's happening. The holiday season's coming up, and we're just kind of kicking ass at life into the new year.
I want to let you know, I do not investigate the interweb, but you've got that, what do you call it, a blog?
It's called a little blog. Yeah,
Right,
a little
right.
blog.
A blog is like a newspaper without paper.
Kind of like a newspaper without paper, but it may not be newsworthy. It's just whatever awesomeness you want to put out on the internet, or maybe craziness. A lot of blogs are insane.
Okay, what I love about your blog, just the title, you got 1 out of 2 there. Mama's been drinking? You've been drinking, but you're not a mama.
I'm not a mama, but it's based upon, I know a lot of mamas who forget to do things because they've been drinking, like they forget to feed their kids, etc. So,
Right.
Mama's been drinking.
I just want to remind you that this is a very short segment.
Short
so let's
segment.
get to
All
it,
right.
man.
We're
Oh,
getting
really?
to it.
Well, it's during intermission.
We're at halftime right now.
Yes.
Okay, tell us something
We're
good.
getting
Break
to
it down.
Something great. So you guys definitely want to go to chunkyb.tv, right? Because that's our site, and it's amazing. And Black Friday's coming up. Wait, no, this is coming. Shit, is this week?
It doesn't matter.
even matter.
Just, some
It's
shop
the
in general.
holiday season. You crazy people shop all the time. You probably have a shopping addiction. Go to chunkyb.tv. Click on the Amazon link. Anything you buy will donate to our cause of being awesome and bringing you the best comedy from the Garage of Love. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
You get up to the microphone. You sound sexier when you're close.
sound what?
Right? Yeah.
Sound sexier when I'm
yes,
close?
right there. That's what we want. Check
I
it
don't
out.
like hearing my own voice.
But check it out.
Yes.
We go to Amazon. Not only we're going to get the Wiz, who's not here right now because of he's out in Vegas probably eating shrooms, but we're trying to raise money for you to get a hamburger at Hananos.
I need a cheeseburger at Hananos,
Okay.
you guys. It's the greatest place on earth in Venice. I need a beer and a burger, so help support my eating and drinking habit. Please donate. chunkybee.tv. Click the donate button or shop for your family through Amazon for the holidays.
Okay, tell everybody to tell their friends about this.
Everybody tell your friends. If you tell 3 friends and they tell 3 friends, it's kind of like a pyramid scheme.
It's like
only,
6 friends.
Yeah.
And then
you get a Corvette at the end. Not from us, but probably.
we'll
through
steal
your-
one for you. Okay, check it out. Thanks for hanging out in the intermission. Get on the interweb and tell all your friends that this is rocking. You're going to have a great time. Check out the second half right now. Bam.
Wave goodbye, Penny.
I'll wave too.
I'm Alan Salkin, author of From Scratch, the Uncensored History of the Food Network, and you're listening to 1 Degree of Chunky.
One Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love, chunkybee.tv. Give your undivided attention to Alan Salkin. Where can we find you, brother?
Pretty much everything's Alan Salkin, A-L-L-E-N, S like Sam, A-L-K-I-N. It's at Alan Salkin. It's Facebook/Salkin. You can buy the book on Amazon.
And by the
Barnes &
way,
Noble.
hang on one second. If you go to Amazon, folks, and want to buy the book, hit our button first, please. Okay?
That's the only reason you should have cut a guest off.
That is why
That's
I cut
the
him off.
only
That's it.
reason.
He was
That's
very
right.
proud when
No,
he
you
got
should-
that /Salkin. You
On
skipped over that.
Facebook.
He called me. I got when you were able to get your name as your URL.
Remember when they opened
got
it up?
Salkin.
No, they opened it up on Facebook. I did it at like 12:01 a.m. But definitely, you should click through the Amazon link on the the Chunky Bee podcast.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
No, it doesn't.
That cuts.
I actually enjoy that.
cuts
Did
to
you
the
do
core.
that podcast yet with Allison
I'm
Rosen?
doing Allison Rosen, his sidekick, on this weekend. So
That's awesome.
really?
So
You
you'll
cheating on
say
us?
you were on our show as well?
Love
We
that.
are blazing the path of the man that digs food, and we teased it after. By the way, great segment in the middle. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Penny. That's good work there,
Yeah.
Jim.
Check this out. We teased. What did we tease?
We tease Scandal.
The
Oh,
biggest
right, the scandal. Right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Can we just jump right ahead to Paula Deen? And what's your take?
Well, if people think that the whole Paula Deen thing went down because she said the N-word and she admitted it, etc., but it really all started a year earlier, or even earlier than that. She had this great agent, Barry Weiner, who
I think all agents.
Let
are.
that go. That's too
I
easy.
love
That's too
that.
easy.
No,
That's
and-
just,
Wiener's a
too
great
easy.
word. Sorry, go on.
Okay, too easy. Keep
Well,
going.
also I'll say that Barry, yes, a great Jewish agent who happened to be born ethnically Chinese and was adopted into a Jewish family.
That's awesome.
And now you're making me the way that Paula Deen got on TV was after 9/11. The network for years had been saying no to Barry wanting to get her on. And after 9/11, he told the president of Food Network, you're so prejudiced against this fried chicken and this lowbrow food. I want you to go on your way home and walk past the Carnegie Deli. People are lining up for these giant, fatty, salty sandwiches of corned beef and pastrami, and all the fancy restaurants are empty. And she did walk home and she saw the lines. He knew her route home. He was that good of an agent. And that's Paula Deen has corned beef and pastrami to thank for getting on the network. Now, Barry was also a good agent in that he kept Food Network from taking a piece of all of her proceeds. They did not get anything from the Paula Deen mattress line or the Paula Deen toaster goodies or the Paula Deen furniture or spices or whatever. And so a year before the N-word thing, she went on the Today Show and announced that she had diabetes and it turned out she was getting like $6 or $7 million to endorse a diabetes medicine.
Okay, keep talking.
And so the Food Network had just shot an entire year of regular Paula Deen episodes. If she had told them, this is what I'm going to do, they could have maybe adjusted the show. But now you've got a whole year of grandma, and I think people, identified with her as like fun grandma. She was indulging us. You got grandma eating sugary treats and buttery things and
Right.
pies. And instead of it becoming like grandma, it's like watching Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Instead of watching an alcoholic drink themselves to death,
Yeah.
it's like watching a diabetic eat themselves
Right,
to death. And It's
gotcha.
a lot less fun.
Let me go deeper on this. Do you think someone leaked to her saying, we're going to get you with the N-word. It's coming to a theater near you. Let's double back and let's have America feel sorry for me. And then when that hits,
No.
is that
Because the timing's not right. The lawsuit was in progression. The N-word thing happened, the diabetes thing happened in like a February, and it
A year
wasn't
before.
until but it wasn't until like a year later that the lawsuit, the deposition happened in which she said the N-word. And if she had good lawyers, no, it's all, character is destiny. The whole thing was a shit show. She didn't have the right advice. She didn't have the right lawyer. As soon as a good lawyer had heard this famous star admit to using the N-word in a deposition, okay, let's settle. What will it cost? $1 million? She had a deal with Walmart that would have made her $1 million, every week, every day almost.
But she was loaded before that.
She's not, to be fair, Paula Deen is a very smart and interesting person, a great storyteller.
Would you do her?
You would love her.
Would you do her?
In her day.
Back in the day, God,
She was a beauty queen.
I
would
Paula
do
Deen.
her tomorrow.
No, you would. No, I wouldn't do it tomorrow.
Yeah, those big saggy titties.
Well, if you coated her in sugar and butter, I might eat parts of her. But
we're on the same page, bro. We're on the same page. I got you.
Would you make her call you the N-word?
Hey, Alan, I smell what you're cooking. All right, get back to Paul.
anyway,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
Fucking Paul.
Paula Deen.
Doing Paula Deen.
Fucking Paula Deen.
Who's your favorite chef on
new book.
Food Network?
I really like Bobby Flay because he's like a cockroach.
You just can't kill him.
He
Keeps
just
coming
keeps
back.
he's like a New York street kid with these incredible instincts. He sizes you up in his cold blue eyes and figures out what is it going to take to get what I want.
Yeah.
And he's invited you to his house in the Hamptons. I mean, come on.
That's true, but actually, the last time
Did
Bobby
you touch him in the bikini area?
The last time Bobby had any contact with me, he basically sent me a threatening text because I wrote something for a website he didn't like. So
really?
he's a bit of a, he's hard to
Ego?
be friends
He's a
with.
bulldog.
And I'm saying this just as a journalist
Right.
from a character standpoint.
But I can
not
see
because-
that.
But he tried. Listen, he did. He tried to manipulate me. He tried to, get close to me, invited me over, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He did what he does.
Yeah.
He figured out how to charm me to get the portrayal of him that he wanted in the book. Now, I don't think he loves everything in the book, but unlike some of them, he's not a complete dickhead about it. He's just like, you did your job and you wrote the book you wrote.
Right. Hey, I'm going to pitch a show to you right now. Gary Adler, executive producer in the Garage of Love. He's a guy that always barbecues in his backyard, and the name of the show is, "Hey, I'm Gary. Say hello to my grill friend." Say hello to my grill
My
friend.
grill friend isn't bad.
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Yeah. And, but bam, every
like
week
it.
you're fucking doing fucking everything on it.
Yeah, I'm banging
Gary
my
Adler
girlfriend.
and his girlfriend.
That's a gas grill. Let's be clear. Okay.
I don't see what the problem
Ooh,
is
it
with
is.
the gas grill.
The smoker's
gas
on
grill?
its way.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right,
listen.
what's your thought?
If you were gonna go to any restaurant tonight without a budget,
In L.A.
which one would you go to?
In L.A.
Yep.
I really like Inc., Voltaggio's
His
place.
friend Michael Vitaggio.
Oh, wait a second, dude. Seriously.
No, I like it.
Do you have your hand in every fucking cookie jar? Can you just speak from the heart?
He spoke. He was at the book thing.
He was?
He's not. I mean, he's not my. I'm in LA now. I'm not like hanging
paying
out with
you to say
Michael
that.
Voltaggio. I mean, he's.
What's good about Ink?
When you eat at enough great restaurants, it's like working at a hair salon. You can almost. It's not like working at a hair salon. What it's like
what's
is
the analogy there?
no. What it's like is it's so exciting to actually be surprised and delighted. I've eaten so many great things that it takes a lot. It takes a big hit of a very fine drug to still get me high on food. And I go there and 5 out of 6 dishes are surprising and delicious. And it's rare. They can always surprise you. They can always put some kind of foam and make you eat something weird. But to do that and for it to taste good, that's what's hard. And I just always want to go to a place that I haven't been. There's a hamburger place that I want to go to. That's one of those LA places with pastrami and everything stuffed into
What's
the
the
butter.
name of the joint?
He texted me some name of some place that I'd never heard of. Some random non-LA
It's in Watts.
Bledsoe?
No,
Well,
it's
that sounds
not.
amazing.
Oh, that's a barbecue place, Bledsoe's.
Okay.
Hold on.
Who's the biggest douchebag on the network?
Here's the thing. A lot of people will tell you that Guy Fieri is a douchebag.
Is
because
he really?
He looks like a douchebag.
By the way, Chunky B had that
the
show
tips.
before Guy Fieri. I even have the pilot episode of it.
I want you to know, 17 years ago, I did my own sizzle. No, I actually did a pilot called "This Is the Place," and exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And I, I shopped it to 2 places, and they were like, "Really? You're gonna go around the country and just you sit in a restaurant and eat the food?"
yeah, with that mullet.
Oh man.
I didn't have a mullet back
You
then.
fucking had a
But
mullet.
the frosted
Still
tips,
got
Guy
it.
Check
Fieri.
this out. Okay, here's something. So Gary and I go up to San Jose. We're doing a pilot for this little kid's rock band. We go to this diner across the street from our hotel.
In
And
Santa
we're-
Cruz, right?
In Santa
Yeah.
Cruz. And we're eating. And then we go back to our hotel room, turn on the TV, and there is Guy talking about this diner. And he goes, don't get caught up in the diner stuff. Go to the last pages. The Asian food is incredible. I'm like,
Yeah, and when we were there, we were like, well, I ain't eating some fucking Asian food at a diner.
That's the thing people don't remember about Triple D, which is that he's recommending a dish or dishes there. He's not saying the whole restaurant is great.
Right.
That's a good
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Some of the places. Man.
Would
they're
you do
crazy.
him?
Would I do him? Ew.
Isn't
With
he
the
kinda like
frosted
a
tips
cooler-
in the bad fashion?
No, he's
Absolutely
cool.
not.
You know something.
This is what I'm saying. This
There's
is what
a
I'm
lot of people
saying.
that are cool.
But this is what I'm saying about Guy. He was born to be who he is.
That's right.
And he is the complete manifestation of himself.
He won for a reason.
That's
He's,
great, but
he's
I
a
wouldn't
dynamic
do
guy.
him.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
question.
Oh,
Would
I'm
I do
not-
him?
I'm
So
not-
would you do Guy Fieri? Because I wouldn't. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, you would
That's
do
what he
him
got.
so. What are you kidding me?
I do Martha
kidding
Stewart.
me? I couldn't
a
even take him
slightly,
seriously.
if he
I would
was
do Martha Stewart.
I have a question.
a slightly better looking female version,
Martha
maybe,
Stewart, yes.
I have
Not
a
Paula Deen.
question.
in her day.
Not Paula Deen.
Wolfgang Puck,
Martha
the
Stewart.
first celebrity chef, or was there another one?
Well, there was a guy in the 19th century named Antonin Karameh who's considered the first celebrity chef. But Wolfgang was hugely important in the 80s. And there's even an article I quote in the book about how people were writing these articles about 1991, 92, saying the celebrity chef fad was over, because Wolfgang had had his day. So many people came out of Chez Panisse in Berkeley. That's sort of the ground zero of celebrity chefdom and the American food movement. And so that place, Jeremiah Tower, Alice Waters, the people who came out of there, Jonathan Waxman, and then obviously in Southern California, Wolfgang Puck was huge. He made eating out cool at Spago, and then brought Spago to Vegas, which was probably the most most thing.
Yeah.
Are those restaurants still relevant?
Yes.
Spago
I'm going to
isn't
answer
it?
that.
Is
I'm gonna answer
Chinois
that.
still relevant?
Chinois, come on.
Chinois is not.
Is Chinois over? I haven't been. I can't afford it.
Done.
Play it out.
My brother knows more about the LA
Like which
scene than I
Spago?
do.
Which
But
Spago
Alan-
though? Because there's several. Isn't there like
The one in Beverly Hills.
The one in Beverly Hills.
Okay, check this out. There is something about these celebrity chefs. They still, at the end of the fucking day, have game. I've worked on many of a talk show. I've had a little tiny slider that Wolfgang Puck served. Boom, cut to commercial, hand it to me. Wolfgang wouldn't know my name, but he'd know my face. He was on Craig Ferguson so many times. It's just great. And what's that guy Rocco who fucked up and had
Rocco
that?
Despirito.
Oh,
Rocco.
Spirito,
Yeah, that guy
He
messed
fucked
up.
up that
He's
restaurant.
hot.
Well, here's my favorite Rocco Despirito story, because he's in the book. The
He
original
seems like a
version,
big douche to me.
I used to see him at Hollywood parties. He was absolutely a douche.
Was he a douchebag?
Horrible.
But I'm telling you, he was on a show and he made this simple pasta, and I put it in. I'm like, why is that so fucking
But
good?
he wasn't interested in cooking. He didn't want to cook.
But
he
his
He
mom
wanted to
could
be a
make a
star.
meatball. His reality show sucked. That
I want to
restaurant
hear.
show.
I want to hear a story about
Go ahead.
Rocco.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, Chopped, which is a lot of people's favorite show, this competition show at night on Food Network. The original version, instead of Ted Allen, they had Rocco Despirito.
Oh, right.
And the original concept for the show in the pilot was that you were competing to cook dinner for a reclusive billionaire. And so overseeing it was this butler, not Rocco. Rocco was on the judges panel, but there was the billionaire's butler. And so when your dish was chopped, it would be scraped into a dog bowl where the butler's ravenous chihuahua would eat it.
I like that show better.
What?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Now,
weird.
the only problem was that chihuahuas have very small stomachs, and so Pepe, which his name was Pepe, I did the work.
Of course it's Why would
They kept having to snatch him away from the food, otherwise he would have.
He would be full.
Yes.
Ew.
Well, he couldn't have picked a mastiff or something.
Did you talk
Chihuahua.
about Jeff Smith in the book at all?
A little bit. Jeff Smith, I loved. I mean, he
Who
was
is
the
Jeff Smith?
inspiration, and we used to watch.
So
Jeff
he was
Smith.
the frugal gourmet. He was also
Yep,
Ah,
yep,
the frugal
and
gourmet.
he's the guy who got
Okay.
busted
Well, who
for
was the-
molesting all
Okay,
of
I
his
want to tell you
interns.
something. I want to.
Well,
Doug, I
I mean, they
apologize
are
for cutting you
interns.
off.
That's all right.
Do you understand what Alan is bringing to the table? No pun intended. There's so much. Like, we haven't even talked about Julia Childs. We haven't even talked about the cat out of New Orleans. I guarantee.
Yeah, that
Jacqueline
guy.
Wilson.
We haven't even, there's so much. There's so much in this book, people. And that's why I'm telling you, it's worth it. We're about to round third and head home, meaning we're going to put a bow on this. But I sincerely think we barely scratched.
I want to hear Doug tell the version, because I've told it so many times, about the oregano.
All right, let's
Oh,
hear it.
sweet Jesus.
Here
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Well, we had a spice rack like everybody, like a little rotating one.
Right.
And when we moved from New Jersey, I guess we brought our spices with us. This is when he was 9, I was 7. And Pantry Pride was the brand that they had at ShopRite in New Jersey.
Okay.
And it was like
I remember Pantry Pride.
it wasn't oregano, was it? It was I thought it was pepper flakes.
I think it was a regular.
It's not
I think
important,
it
but
was
go with the
pepper
You
story.
know what? It was.
And
it was red
I
pepper
think
flakes.
I still have it.
Do you?
We traveled like we didn't realize
You're right,
that
it
you
was
would
red pepper
refresh
flakes.
your spices.
This was
So
how.
we
But
would carry these
Our-
spices.
our
So
mother
you
was-
still have a thing of
40 years.
really?
we had it. It was, but it was in
But
rotation.
that's not the story, is it?
That's
Yes,
it.
well, my
That's it,
point.
guys.
The point of the
That's a wrap.
story is it was in rotation for about 12 years. This was how most of America was at the time. We didn't even know there was such a thing as cookies from scratch. It was you could use Bisquick or you could use a cookie mix,
Right.
or you could
That was the
slice some
post-war-
Pillsbury. Right, it was
Yeah.
salt and pepper and garlic salt.
But didn't you say that in the beginning of your book? Because that
Yes.
sounds familiar. In the, what do they call that? The pre something?
The pre-something.
The prefix?
I think that's I don't know.
preface.
It's a preface. I think is what it's called in here.
I call it the preface.
Oh, words.
It's the forward.
Prologue. No, there's a
Words are
prologue
hard.
and there's a preface in this one.
Yeah.
In the preface, I do tell the from scratch story.
But the thing is,
Did
normally,
you thank me in the book?
Yes. I thank you, your wife, and your children.
okay, I think you're amazing. I think you're funny. I think you're smart. I enjoyed.
You know, Chunky, it was great to see you. I'm really grateful for you coming to the funeral. And you know, it's you're right about our father that the tennis thing really is a great metaphor, because the last time I really saw him at his peak was when he used to come to the U.S. Open every year to New York, and that's when he would come stay with me. And he would love coming to New York, eating the food, going on a walk, seeing the great tennis.
Right.
That was about as happy as he was, except when he was at his favorite restaurant that he had one experience or a couple in Paris. He would tell the story about Ami Louis over and over again, the goose fat potatoes. I could tell the story.
But he was a sassy. He was almost like a player, wasn't he? Kind of smooth.
But look at these two.
Isn't it pretty to think so?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, how
yeah.
do you raise these two?
But no, his dad was like better looking. You know,
Than
he
these
was-
two?
Yeah,
He
he was
had
thinner.
possible.
He had very good legs.
He had great fucking. Was he out of Palm Springs or something? I mean,
When he passed away, he was living in Palm Springs.
yeah. Jesus Christ, allergies. I'm the biggest fucking vagina in town. Alan Salkin, you blessed us with your presence in the Garage of Love. I promise you, I'm going to read this book completely.
What book? What's the book called?
Yeah, let's get the
From,
plugs in,
from
baby.
scratch, the Uncensored History of the Food Network.
What beer? What's the beer called?
Yeah, let's
Dennis
keep
Duck.
going.
Oh,
Oh my God, you're right. The owner, the double secret silent
Silent part.
partner. This is awesome. You guys know that. I was just about to get emotional. I'm not going to do it. But from scratch, it reminds me of the first time I caught crabs in college.
The first
All right,
time, not the last time.
All right, that was a joke. There was food.
joke?
Last time I was in Maryland, I caught crabs. Thank you, Alan Salkin.
Thank you.
Doug, thank you for holding on to your brother's coattails and trying to be popular.
Sure.
The executive producer of Love in the Garage of Love. One more time, say goodnight to Gary Adler. Penny Lane, you are awesome. Keep delivering your smoothness and sassiness, because you are the digital ninja. My name is Chunky B. ChunkyB.tv. We are DONE. Thank you, Alan.